Aloha, everyone. All right, this is going to be kind of a busy video lesson, and once again, if I talk too fast, feel free to slow it down. But nasty day for the market today. Big sell-off, big rollover, closing near the lows. Short term, got to exercise caution, and none of this should be surprised. We're up at the upper end of the 2 to 3 ATR zone on all of the indexes on the daily. We have to, expect a reversion to the mean. But for now, what I want to focus on, this is my trading view chart. I haven't gone over this chart in a while, and I want to remind everybody, we're finally lined up on a monthly time frame, which has been always the best time for my personal trades. When the SPY is green on the monthly time zone, and more importantly, when the IWM is green on a monthly time zone, this is when my best returns happen. And I mean, you can see here 2003 to 2008. That was the best period of my career. No surprise that it completely lines up with the green here in the IWM. And with the SPY, I wasn't trading until late or mid, I'd say 1998. But you can see what the 90s look like in the SPY with all that green in the background. The reason why I show you this is because on a monthly time frame, we are good on the SPY, and for the first time on a monthly basis, this red number here, you will see that the entire time that we were turning green here, the moving average line was moving lower. It finally started to tick higher last month and continues to tick higher so far this month. So the moving average is curled up and we're green in the SPY. That's a thumbs up. And on the IWM, last month, we finally went green. We continue to go green. And also, our moving average line is curling higher finally for the first time. So we've gone green with the moving average curling higher on the IWM, and the SPY is good. However, when we get more granular, we look at the weekly time frame. We can see that we're intermediate term time frame bearish on the IWM and the SPY. On a daily, you can see it's pretty noisy. Even though it's green, we're crossing lower. And on the IWM, it's been really, really noisy. But once again, we're far extended from the 9 and 21 EMAs. Should probably change this to an 8, actually, but I'll do that later. But you can see that we're extended from there. I would expect a pullback, a reversion to the mean. And even then, as long as we hold above this level, the 164.50 area, give or take in the IWM, everything should be good. So I just want to remind everybody, we have that part lined up, and I've been waiting forever. Remember, June 2018 into July 2018 is when this monthly TSV went red in the IWM. It's finally gone green. So that gives me a green light to start pushing into new long positions. But there is one problem, two problems really why I can't increase size. One is I need some hot charts. I'll remind you guys what they look like. And number two, the VIX. So let's take a look at the VIX. As you can see here, the VIX is still clearly above 20, not below 20. Why is this problematic? Because it creates a lot of shakeouts, a lot of volatility in my trades. And I'm having a tough time getting large size in any one name and then being able to hold it for a strong move higher before I get shaken out of quite a few, of the position, half to all of it. What was a recent name? WWR, 2 days ago, for instance. You can see this white arrow here. This is when I went long following this day. And by the time it finally worked on this day, it shook me out of right around, 90% of this name because I keep some tight stops right now. In the hopes that by the time it gives me a signal, I can get it off here. Should I have taken this signal here? Yes. The higher volume, the increase in green bop, the candle over candle off the 50. Yeah, I should have added to it here. I did not. No surprise. WWR does what it did. But it is reconsolidating. But the point is that this is happening a lot. This will not happen as much or nearly as often as the VIX gets below 20. Remember all those times I showed you the good returns with the monthly TSV? Well, no surprise, a lot of those times, especially remember my best period, 2003 to 2008 that I was talking about? Do you notice how VIX is below this blue line right here? Yeah, these are when the best returns happen for me, when the VIX stays basically below this bottom line. And once again, I'll remind everybody, this entire rally, the VIX has stayed above 20. We've never seen the SPY have the magnitude of the rally or the longevity of a rally with the VIX above 20. So this is an extreme event that's never happened before in the history of the VIX, and I have the VIX data going back to 1986. So just keep that in mind. As soon as we get the VIX below 20, I get some hot charts, we'll push it. If you guys don't remember what the hot charts look like, let me just go ahead and remind you, because the best ones from last year were ARWR. This is what I like to see in a gap up stock. This signal here was solid, but this signal was amazing. That huge volume surge that truncates all the previous volume bars. The BOP goes to max green, clear support level. There is some red in this chart, but there's not that much, and it's all the way on the far left edge. Pocket pivot point signals. And if you guys don't remember, ARWR, huge move into those highs. Just to remind everybody, the percent return, 232%. Now, the best setup last year was in WTRG, and this is the stock I'm looking for. So, guys, I'm throwing a lot of darts right now. You'll notice there's a lot of stocks on the watch list. There hasn't been many for the quality side, but on the speculative side, there's been a lot, and I still prioritize them for you guys. So it's not like I don't list them in the order of quality. I list all 10. You got to do your own research and figure out which ones work for you. I tell you what I'm doing, and then I tell you which ones are the best. But I don't have any charts that look like this right now. Look at what the volume does to the previous volume bars. Look at how BOP goes to max green. Look at how there's no red BOP. Look at all the pocket pivot point signals. Look at the strong uptrend. The move is right off a support level. And even though this was a utility stock, and it's not like it really did anything amazing from the signal to the highs, 22% gain, still, it's a name and a signal that you can load the boat in. And that's the whole thing. I'm throwing darts right now, and I have a max risk of only $100 per trade, which is piker status for my portfolios. I mean, it's extreme piker status. I should be risking $2,500 per trade. Said I'm only doing 100 right now, so I'm managing a lot of positions. But that being said, once I get a WTRG, whatever capital I have in the account, it all goes into a name like that. And this year, we really haven't had any setups like this. Like the ones that have worked the best is NFE. And you'll see here, the volume bar does truncate the previous volume bars, but BOP doesn't really get to max green here, and there's red in the chart. So that's why I couldn't load up on NFE. I didn't know that NFE, once again, another utility stock, was going to end up moving to 330%, but it did. And then also SPT, the setup, I love the signal. Once again, look at what the volume does to the previous volume bars. Truncates it. You get max green BOP. You're pretty close to support. You got the candle over candle, but it is a little extended off the low. It's not like there was green BOP leading into the max green BOP day. You don't know that SPT is going to do as well as it did, but unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of signals like this. So that's why I really can't get a large position in a name. But once again, here's two recent longs from the speculative watch list section. I had a lot of names this day. I told you guys on this day, FOSL was number one. Perfect speculator quality names are always at the top of the position. FOSL, bam, in 3 days, we have a 37% gain. RIOT was from my perfect speculator scan. This was the long signal, gave it out to everybody. Perfect speculator, told you guys to focus on these names. Bam, 48% gain in the next day. So we are hitting some big winners. I just don't have a lot of size in them. But the reason why you're seeing so many names, because you guys want to take a look at a lot of the stocks that I've passed on that has been running. Don't forget, on this day, Solo, in fair disclosure, flag this name. Love this stock. Which one did I decide to take? Sava. What did Sava do to me? Offering. Unreal. It's my biggest loss so far, and it's minor. It was very, 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 very minor. Lost a couple $100 on this one because it went beyond my stop level, which was this bar's low a day. But that being said, Solo, of course, I don't take. And what does Solo do? In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 83% gain. But you'll see no flag, no little white triangle here, do you? Because I didn't take it. How about FUV? Remember when I gave this out to everybody? I was like, hey, I'm not taking this one because of earnings coming up. Watch me regret it. 3 days later, up 25%. Definitely regret it. GP, remember this day? I didn't take it because it had earnings that night. Said, watch me regret it. Bam. 4 days later, 77% gain. How about Corsair? I love their keyboards. I love their equipment right here. Got the higher volume. Even though we don't have green bop, it's an IPO. I pass on it this day because no green bop, I tell myself. Even though I love this company, I don't take it. What does Corsair do? Bam. 82% gain without me. You're starting to catch a drip. SUP was hoping that this thing was going to continue to consolidate. After this breakout, I was like, you know what? I don't want to chase that move in SUP. Bam. SUP. Bam. 78% gain. And then one more. KZIA post-offering. Really love this stock. After the offering day, when it retook that 670 high right here, I was like, you know what? I should go long this stock. But I didn't. What? It's hilarious. But, 63% gain without me. That being said, still have quite a few winners. As you can see by just looking at SCKT, this was the signal. We entered this day. Bam. Big win today. LM&L, this is one I did not get filled on. But initially I did. Still trekking on an end-of-day basis, but I got shaken out this day. I got an ad signal yesterday. No fill today. Up 14%. Still trekking on an end-of-day basis. How about SYPR? Went long here. Up big today. That's a 40% gain. SDC was a new long position yesterday. Nice 10% move today. Sesson, still holding up. Not a big move. BGFV, still holding up. Not a big move. MARPS was a new signal. That's working out. And in DM, this one I really like. ARC has a position in it. Back here, wish I would have gotten it long, bought it then. 201% gain. But I told everybody on this day, and NDM was my favorite one in the speculative long position page. Still, max green bop, nope. Above average volume, nope. So I don't load a position. That being said, an NDM, 56% gain. So we do have winners out there. It's not like we're void of winners, as you can see by just looking at the triangles. Titan, we went long here, and bam, nice winner, 34%. But the problem is GRWG got shaken out of this one. Still tracking on an end-of-day basis. Another 57% gain in a short period of time. ATKR, I am long this name. It has earnings, I believe, coming up. 44% gain. So as you can clearly see, we still have winners. But because I throw so many, there's so many names that I look at that I don't take that have been winning, I decided just to keep throwing darts. So on that note, there are 10 new speculative long positions or stocks on the watch list. If they don't trigger and they don't fill, then there's 0 new long positions, but there's 10 stocks on the watch list for Platinum members. So Platinum members, go check that speculative watch list. It's another long list. But once again, I'll prioritize them for you. I'll tell you exactly which ones are priority, secondary, and tertiary on that list. It's not like anything's going to be a surprise. Now, the other thing is, these are the stocks I'm not going long. So watch them all explode higher. You guys can trade them if you want, but I'm not taking this one long. Probably will regret that one. I keep watching this one. Not taking this one long. Probably regret it. Rave is another one that's been consolidating. Not taking this one long. DGLY, what a beautiful consolidation this is. I know I'm going to regret this. If you see this in play tomorrow, this one's also a day trader. And then SLCA I'm not taking. So with all of that out of the way, are there any new long positions of quality? There sure is. REZI. Now, that being said, REZI isn't ideal, isn't perfect. It's only quality because it's New York Stock Exchange and it's extremely liquid. I mean, extremely liquid. What is its average daily volume? Well, not extremely, but still, it's over 887,000 shares, average 50-day volume, according to MarketSmith. Earnings are out of the way, nothing to worry about here. So what I have here is a reversal candle of strong price support, which is right this level here in the previous day's session, on heavier above average volume, and you see how that bop explodes to max green. Why is this not a perfect signal? Well, it doesn't close near the highs of the day. So REZI isn't perfect, but it is pretty good. Now what I want to do with REZI is get long a move over 1683. So my good to cancel buy stop order is going to be 1684. I'm going to add 17 cents to that for a 1% limit offset. So I make sure if it moves higher, I get filled. I don't care if it gaps up, pulls in. I just want to get long these names. I'm only risking, like I said, $100 per trade. I'll cut my loss if I'm wrong. Now, if you're a new trader and you want to keep your stops tight, you have one level to work with, this 1556 level, today's low a day. That'll be my first stop if I get filled. However, I'm going to position my size in it from 1684 minus this session's low a day, 1344. Why this session? Because it's the last green bop session on the gap up. So I'll be taking 1684 minus 1344, get that total, divide that into $100, and that's going to be my share size on the trade. How's that for transparency? There it is. That's what I'm doing. Now, what I want to do, and I still might do, is take 1684, then take 1556, which is this low a day here, add 1344, divide by 2, get that total, and then subtract that from 1684, divide that into 100, and that might be my share size, because since there is a volume surge and a bob surge, I think I'm going to increase size on this one. But that being said, I don't want to get anything crazy going in this trade. There's red bop in the chart. There's no pocket pivot point signals recently, and it's not closing at the high of the day. Is this an ARWR, WTRG, or an SPT type chart? No. Is it an NFE type chart? No. Why? Because it's not at the exact support level. If this candle was happening basically even with this low right here, sure, I would increase size. But you know what? It isn't, so I'm not. All right, we're going to wrap this video lesson up with the stocks that showed up in my perfect speculator scan and that I was my Holy Grail intraday scanner, and stocks that I was watching pre-market based on pre-market watch lists. I already look at what's the top gappers every morning. If there's news and a catalyst behind them, I know that they're in play. There's some free email lists that I'm on for penny stock traders, and if these stocks are also on their watch list, obviously they're in the forefront. But first, let's go over the names that were in my my Holy Grail scanner. So SCKT were already long, but I just want to let everybody know, since right now I cannot be around intraday right now. Sooner than later, but not right now. SCKT was in the Holy Grail scanner. It pops up over the opening print here, and it's above VWAP, but do you see that rejection on the heaviest volume? That's not a good sign. So I wouldn't even have kept a good to cancel buy stop limit order here. This one hit the scanner at 9:30, so it was in play immediately. And then whenever you get this attempted breakout and another reversal on the heaviest volume of the entire move, that pretty much kills it. And of course, SCKT didn't do anything. You could still put a good to cancel buy stop limit order above here if it breaks back out, but it never did with SCKT. So that was stock one. Then there's IHT. IHT didn't hit my scanner to 9:45 a.m. So the first good to cancel buy stop limit order would go here. However, when it pulls back under VWAP, you get a break here and a break here. You can put your good to cancel buy stop limit order there. And if you do that, you get filled. If you don't get filled on the initial move, you got to start taking some profits as it pushes to the previous highs, since the reversal came on heavier volume right here. If you don't get filled and you get filled on a pullback, as it moves and pushes higher, you got to take profits. And then once again, another heavier volume reversal candle. You still can stay in it, but by this point right here, you've got to be all out and you've got to cut your losses. That being said, IHT was relatively sloppy. The reversals were ugly. Not the kind of chart that we look for, as you know. And as you can see, it didn't do anything for the rest of the day. No surprise there. The only other stocks that I was watching that were in play, DNK pre-market, it does its push, pulls back, and it never breaks back out above the highs. And whenever it falls below VWAP here, this heavy volume bar is never a good sign. Now, it does reclaim and retake. You can put a good to cancel buy stop limit order there for members for that day trade. And as you can see, if you do that, you never get another trade in DNK. And then NAKD was on my watch list. It pushes, but I tell you what, guys, this sell-off here on the heavier volume and then this reversal here, this is just not something I'm into. But once you get past 12 o'clock, you can put the good to cancel buy stop limit order here, And if you do that, it does push up 10%. But the bottom line is the setups were half-assed today. They weren't that great. Other stocks that hit my low float massive volume scanner, CH&C from the over-the-counter bulletin board, no thank you. IPWR, remember that swipe into a halt I never like. It's always the pulse post halt. You can get it on a dip back to the halt price, but even then, this is a sloppy chart. Heavy volume on those reversals, multiple volume bars. Told you guys, I never like that, and I never really like a stock until it gets back above VWAP. So if you played it off the halt price, you did get a 7% move, but once again, there was nothing going there. The best performer was KZIA. This is from my low float massive volume scanner. Halt price here, consolidates, holds VWAP. Right here, you can put a buy stop either above the 12 o'clock high or the 11 o'clock high. Let's just use the 11 o'clock high. Remember, if you use this high, you got to risk to at least this low. If you do that, this one keeps you in the trade. But once again, it wasn't anything amazing, but still, there's another 20% move. All right, like I said, a lot of lessons, but it's been busy, busy, busy. I wish the rising tide wasn't lifting all boats, but it's literally lifting all boats right now. So it's very hard to keep these video lessons short. But thank you for watching. Also want to remind everybody, if it hasn't already been busy, tomorrow is the quarterly portfolio selection day. The quarterly portfolio stocks, remember there's 10 stocks in each portfolio. You buy 10% with your account capital. Hold them for 90 days. We replace them every quarter. That is tomorrow. And just to let you know, on this most recent quarter, the big cap growth is up 15%, while the S&P 500 is up 5.7%. Now, the mid cap growth is definitely lagging, only up 2%, while the S&P is up 5%. But the strong relative strength accumulation distribution portfolio is up 25% compared to the nearly 6% gain in the S&P 500 this quarter. And I'll remind you, since I initially started to track these portfolios, they're all beating the market by at least 2 times on all of them. 48 to 22 on the strong relative strength one, 51 to 24 on the mid cap growth, 162% to 33.6% in the big cap growth. And that happens tomorrow, and they're bought at the open on Friday. That's for platinum members on a quarterly and annual basis. And annual members, you also get the strong earnings chart list that I'll have updated. So I'm extremely busy. Once again, my apologies for a long video lesson. There's no other way around it right now, guys. Aloha.